Hello and welcome. In this video, we'll be talking about the AP Spanish Language and Culture exam for the 1920 school year and the changes that will be taking place due to the coronavirus. So let's answer your questions. If you have anything that I don't answer, please put it in the comments section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, the document you see on your screen is available to you in the description of the video via a link. So when will the test take place? It will be Friday, May 22nd, and your time varies based on your region. Initially, the test was at least a week, maybe 2 weeks earlier than that this year, so that has been put off for a little while. You will most likely be taking the test from home, from a home computer. We'll talk about that in a second. It could be taken at school if school reopens. The test in the what category will consist of 2 free response questions or sections, and each section is worth 50% of your overall score. Those 2 sections on the test are the 2-minute cultural comparison and the conversation. The following themes, the 4 themes, may be covered in these 2 sections: families in different societies, the influence of language and culture on identity, influences of beauty and art, how science and technology affect our lives. The following 2 themes will not be covered: factors that impact the quality of life, environmental, political, and societal changes. Students will be able to take the test on a variety of devices: PC, laptop, tablet, or smartphone. College Board will provide more information in late April on how that will work. The test will be open note. What's not changing? The amount of time given for each tested part of the exam, with the exception of minor adjustments in the instruction and administration of the test. What is changing? Duration of the test will be about 45 minutes instead of the 3 hours that it used to be. The following portions of the exam have been eliminated: multiple choice, which used to be 50% of the overall test, the essay, and email, which were formerly 12.5% each of the test as well. How you will be evaluated. Below on this document, I have the scoring guidelines, and we can look at those if you want to in a second. And then I will also include last year's cultural comparison and conversation prompts, and we can talk about those if you want more information on how those work. College credit. According to College Board, and I got this straight from their website, we're confident that the vast majority of higher education institutions will award credit as they have in the past. We've spoken with hundreds of institutions across the country who support our solution for this year's AP exams. And then in the other category, makeup exam is Friday, June 5th. And that's if you cannot take it for some reason on the initial date that I gave to you earlier. If you need internet or a device and you need College Board support, again, this document is live in the description of the video, and then you can click that link right there, and it will take you to their website where you can ask for support. And then the College Board is also offering online seminars for students via YouTube, and you can check those out if you want some extra practice for the test. So these right here are the scoring guidelines for the 2-minute cultural comparison and conversation. The conversation scoring guidelines, they go from a 5 down to a 0. And again, if you want to look through these, you can by opening the document, because they're kind of long. After that, I also have the scoring guidelines for the 2-minute cultural comparison. Again, they go from 5 down to a 0. And then I'm going to show you the prompt from last year, so in case if you're not taking the class, like an actual class, and you're just doing this on your own, to kind of show you what it looks like. So the cultural comparison from last year, these are the directions as well as the question. You have 1 minute to read the directions for the task. So here are the directions. You'll make an oral presentation on a specific topic to your class. You'll have 4 minutes to read the presentation topic and prepare your presentation. Then you'll have 2 minutes to record your presentation. In your presentation, you compare your own community to an area of the Spanish-speaking world with which you are familiar. You should demonstrate your understanding of cultural features of the Spanish-speaking world. You should also organize your presentation clearly. So what they'll do is they give you a theme, and this last year's theme was families and communities. And then generally they give you a question. So the theme was, how does the type of housing affect the lifestyle of the people in your community? And then this part right here, where it says compare your observations, etc., that's all the same. And what you want to do, obviously, is talk about your community and how housing affects the lifestyles. And then you want to talk about a part of the Spanish-speaking world with which you're familiar and talk about the similarities or differences between the housing and how it affects people's lifestyles. You want to make sure that you fill up those full 2 minutes. It's kind of like making an essay, but orally, and in 2 minutes. So have an introduction, What is it you're going to talk about? Make your comparisons, and then have a summary all within 2 minutes. Last year's conversation, you have 1 minute. You have 1 minute to read the directions for this task, and they are: you will participate in a conversation. First, you'll have 1 minute to read a preview of the conversation, including an outline of each turn in the conversation. Afterward, the conversation will begin, following the outline. Each time it is your turn to speak, you'll have 20 seconds to record your response. You want to participate in the conversation as fully and appropriately as possible. So this was last year's. The curricular theme was identity, personal and public identities. Introduction. This is a conversation with Marta, a friend of the Hispanic Central Community Center. You're going to participate in this conversation because you guys are working on a project to create a mural that is representative of famous people of the Spanish-speaking world. So when you have these directions right away, you want to start thinking about famous Spanish-speaking people that could be put on this mural, because you're going to want to talk about that in your conversation. And this is kind of what an outline would look like for you. So Marta is going to salute you and ask you for a question. So you're going to try and listen for that question. I meant greet you, sorry. You're going to listen for that question, respond to it, and then explain why. Then she's going to ask you a question. You want to answer that question with details. She'll ask you another question. You want to reject her suggestion and offer another option. Reject is kind of a harsh word. Be polite and offer another option. Continue the conversation. She continues the conversation and asks you for suggestions. You're going to respond with details. And then she continues the conversation, and then you respond with details. And make sure on this last one, you always wrap up the conversation by saying goodbye. So that's the quick version of what the test will look like this year for 2020. Again, questions put in the comments section, and this document is available to you in the description of the video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.